My name is Abdul Aziz. Sometimes I think life moves so fast. One day I was still in school and suddenly now I am in college, living through things I once could only imagine from afar. I study at Polytechnic IDN. People say college is a place to run, but for me, it's a place where I started to understand myself. Learning isn't just about material or achievement. It's about how I walk forward, how I endure, and how I grow into a better version of who I was yesterday. I'm not perfect, I'm not the smart person, I'm not the most talent, but I believe one thing. As long as I'm waiting to try, to learn, and to take a step forward, a path will always open. Every morning I start my day the same way, waking up slowly, starting at the ceiling, grateful that I have been given another chance to fix myself. The morning is always calm, quiet. I get up, take a shower, sometimes with water that feels too cold, get dressed and head to the mosque. The call to prayer at dawn has a special way of calming the air. While the world is still asleep, I walk quickly to the mosque. The morning air carries a soft message, almost as if saying, begin your day well, the rest will follow. After praying, I return to my room, sometimes arranging my thoughts, sometimes planning my day, sometimes just sitting still enjoying the simplicity of the morning. There's one thing I always miss, the countryside. A place where the wind blows gently, where the trees sway softly, and where the small roads feel like home. The village scenery always gives space for breath. No tall buildings, no honking cars, just the sound of nature forming its own harmony. Every time I look at it, I feel a peaceful flow inside, as if the world is whispering, slow down, you don't have to rush. The village reminds me that life is always about chasing something. Sometimes it's about stopping for a moment, enjoying what's already there, and appreciating the little things we often forget.
فما لك في الأرض درب صحيح إلى الله عدنا وبالله نذنا ليطوى زمان بائس شحيح ليطوى زمان بائس شحيح
That day, I was at my friend's garden, a simple place but filled with small, meaningful stories. There was a small wooden house there, old but full of character. It felt like a silent witness of many things: hard work, friendship, and simple laughter. My friends and I sat in front of it after finishing our farming work. We talked casually about everything: our futures, our dreams, funny things that happened that day. Sometimes we were quiet, just enjoying the breeze. Sometimes we laughed loudly, not caring if the world heard us. The moment was so simple, yet somehow it became one of the sweetest memories. That night is felt different, like we're going voice filled the air and there was a warm, energetic feeling around. It was the night of togetherness, one of the most fun events I have ever joined. Some students perform energetic chant, shouting with spirit, logging the whole night. Some recite poetry, sometimes serious, sometimes unpacked steadily funny. Some acted on stage, playing roles that made the audience feel engaged. I watched my friends some show parts of themselves realizing their creativity, courage, and passion. And that night, it felt like I was standing in the middle of a new family, a family built through moments like this. It was not just an event, it was a moment where strangers become close. Then came the West Bank program. At first I thought it would be like any other activity, but it turned out to be extremely tough yet incredibly meaningful. We were trained by the Indonesian army. On the first day alone, we learned about discipline, marching, standing in formation, following instruction, moving as one. There was one stance I will never forget. One person makes a mistake, everyone pies. And they meant it. When one friend broke a rule, we all had to do push up under the scorching sun, hot, tiring, or unshaking. But we kept moving. Not only that, we had to walk several kilometers on foot to reach the assigned location. Heavy bags, long roads, blazing heat, but we kept going. Some friends almost gave up, some walked weakly, but we helped each other. We carried on another emotionally, mentally, sometimes literally. That's where I learned the meaning of true togetherness, not built by words, but by sweet exhaustion and pain shared together. Wasbang taught me about discipline, about respecting rules, about lifting each other when someone falls. And honestly, even though it was tough, I am grateful I experienced it.
فما لك في الأرض درب
After that, I went on a much longer journey to Sumatra. The trip was long. We rode a train passing endless railway tracks, and it felt like they were taking us to a whole new world. At the harbor, my group and I enjoyed the sea breeze, fresh and salty. We took photos together, not for showing off, but to freeze a moment we know would not come again. When the ship moved slowly, and I felt everything at once: excitement, fear, peace, happiness. And when we finally reached Lampung, I knew this journey would be a special memory. This part of my journey was one of the hardest, but also one of the most meaningful. We had to survive in Jogja for one whole week. The rules were very strict. We could only bring 250,000 rupiah. We could not use private vehicles, and we had to work or sell something to stay alive for 7 days. At first, it sounded exciting, but when we arrived, it was not easy at all. Day 1. We didn't sell anything. We spent the whole day looking for a place to sleep. We walked around, asked people, and kept searching until we finally found a mosque that allowed us to stay. It was simple, not comfortable, but for us that night it felt good enough. Day 2. We started selling donuts. We bought donuts from someone, then tried to resell them. It was hot, our feet were tired, but every time someone bought one, we felt happy, like we were really doing something. Day 3. Our mentor visited us. He checked on our condition, asked about our challenge, listened to our stories. After that, we continued selling donuts again. Day 4. We tried making our own donuts. It was really difficult, but when the donuts were done, even though they weren't perfect, we felt proud because we made them ourselves. Day 5. We had to move another place. The mosque we stayed in was no longer available. So again, we walked around and found a new mosque. Different place, different atmosphere, but the same mission. Keep surviving. Day 6. We took a break from sailing. For the first time, we relaxed. We walked around Jogja, looked at the city. Day 7. Time to go home. We packed our things and returned to Polytechnic IDN. We were tired but happy because in just 1 week we learned so much about teamwork, about discipline. Back on campus, we had to present our experience. Each group shared their own survival story. Some sold drinks, some became street performers, some handled parking for extra income, some slept wherever they could. When my group present, I felt every moment come back. The hate, the struggle, the laughter, the growth. After all the challenge, life slowly went back to normal. I walked through campus again, passing the mosque, the hallways, the familiar sound. Students were back to their routines, and so was I. I went to the mosque for English class. Everything looked the same. The desk, the whiteboard, the quiet classroom atmosphere. But inside, I feel different. The experience I went through made me appreciate simple things. Having a routine, learning in comfort, and being together with friends. At Polytechnic IDN, there's one thing you can escape vlog assessment. And not just one, a lot. Sometimes way too many. I once made a vlog review my laptop. I started with a unboxing, me pretending the laptop was brand new, even though I had been using it for 1 year. I recorded myself checking the build quality, touching the keyboard like a tech expert, and talking seriously about features that I barely understood at the time. Then there was a vlog reviewing an umbrella. Yes, an actual umbrella. I stood there like a professional product reviewer, spinning the umbrella, opening it slowly like it was something special, closing it dramatically, and pretending every small detail was important. I talked about the handle and the color, the build quality, and tried to sound as confident as possible while reviewing something everyone already know how to use. It felt silly, but somehow it was fun. I enjoyed it. There was something fun about turning a simple umbrella into a full review video. Something enjoyable about trying my best to make it look interesting. I also made a cooking vlog about instant noodles. A 3 minute meal turned into a long, complicated recording. I kept checking camera angles, moving the tripod left and right, trying to find the perfect lighting, and thinking way too hard about what I should say next. Boiling water become a second. Opening the noodles packet become a second. Even stirring the pot become a dramatic moment. It was simple, but it taught me how hard it actually is to make something look easy on camera. It took patience, creativity, and a lot of retakes. But even with all the mistakes and awkward moments, I ended up enjoying it. Looking back now, the Little Noodles vlog taught me more than I expected about filming, storytelling, and how even simple things can become fun memories. And finally, I closed the journey with my daily life vlog.
Hello everyone.
Hi everyone.
Hi everyone.
Hello everyone. Hi everyone. Hi everyone.
Hi everyone. Hello everyone.
And when I look back at this journey, I realize one thing. Life is a long story built from small moments. Not always perfect, not always beautiful, but always meaningful. And this is my story, the journey of a student, a son, a human being who is still learning. And thank you for watching this journey. It isn't over yet, but I'm ready to walk even further. The mentor gave us a sentence, but only a part of it, or sometimes just a clue. Then we have to guess the full sentence as fast as we can. Some of the clues are easy, but others are really tricky. When someone gives the wrong answer, everyone laughs a little because the mistakes can be funny, but it's all part of the game, and nobody feel embarrassed. Okay, right now my classmates are competing to see who can guess the sentence first. Some of them are really fast, and some are still trying to think quickly. And the atmosphere in the room is very lively. People are shooting answers, smiling, and enjoying the activity. It feels different from a normal English lesson, and I like it because it helps us learn while having fun. The mentor just gave another clue, sometimes something like I usually in the morning and everyone is trying to finish it. Some people said I usually eat, others said I usually wake up. And there were even some funny answers, like I usually sleep again. The whole class loved, including the mentor. I'm also trying to play, but sometimes I think too long. When I finally want to answer, someone else already say it first. But it's okay, it's still fun. feel like this kind of game really helps improve our vocabulary and make us think faster in English. So that's okay. So that's for vlog today, and see you in the next vlog. Bye bye.